everybody, it's me, Chandra Faith, back for another free tarot reading. Free tarot reading! Because, you know, I grew up with Miss Cleo. And so did you, because you're a part of my cult club. And even if you didn't, you will. There's some way to... I've never looked up Miss Cleo on the internet, in the 21st century internets. I don't know when Miss Cleo even started. Comment down below. When did Miss Cleo happen? When did this woman get on the fucking television and then influence so many tarot readers? And like, it's more of an oracle reading. Like, seriously, the only tarot I have tonight for you guys is the Plastics Oracle, which is actually a tarot card deck, but it's called the Oracle. So I don't, you know, free oracle reading, okay? That's my Jamaican accent. I hadn't talked about my accents in a while. But anyway, tonight we are going to do a love reading because I'm sick of this. Okay, we wanted the money and the success and blah, blah, blah. But yes. Yes, I saw my crush today. Just kidding. I mean, I did, but I'm just kidding. I was like, don't talk about your crush, okay? This is just like a general love reading. Stop giving clues. Stop giving clues about your crush because you don't know who of your teammates is listening to this, okay? If any of my fucking MMA teammates are listening to this, what the fuck, you guys? Don't figure out who my crush is, okay? This is like, but I did, okay? I did, okay? I went to Muay Thai class today, okay? Oh my God, you guys, I was tripping, okay? That's why I want to do a love reading, because I was tripping. And I want to give more details, but then I'm just like, I don't want to talk about my crush anymore. I'm afraid people who know me are going to be like, oh, I know who her crush is. I know. I've been in a wrestling class or Muay Thai class. No, fuck that, bros. You gotta keep it secret, keep it safe, okay? Fight Club, Girlverse, like... I don't need to fucking talk about my crush, okay, online, where everyone in the world can hear me. And, okay, I don't need to, but anyway, said crush be like bringing on this love reading for tonight, okay? Tonight is a love reading because fuck it, I love you. Is that what it is? Fuck it, I love you. Fuck you, I love you. It's by Lana Del Rey on her NFR album. That's a fucking album. Okay? When I list 3 songs in a row on my Instagram, that means you listen to that album, motherfuckers, as part of your Cult Club Collective prerequisite. Okay? But Fuck It, I Love You was not Instagram. I could not get that song on Instagram. I was gonna do it, but yeah, that's how I'm feeling. Fuck it, I love you. I barely talked to my crush, but like, Girlverse. I have been reading the, so I've been keeping a diary since I was in 2nd grade. And it's all because, I said this in another video, but I'm gonna say it again. Because of Doug from Nickelodeon, okay? I never kept a journal or whatever Doug does. Doug does a journal, I know what Doug does. And so since 2nd grade, which was about, I don't know what year that was, in the 90s, okay? I'm an old lady. It was the 90s. It was the 20th century, people. I was an old lady. Okay, people are like, girl, you haven't even reached 40, okay? You haven't been over the hill till you're an old lady. Okay, I'm sorry. 4 years till I'm an old lady, or the bump. It's not even an old lady, okay? Okay, I'm just trying to help you guys get into your middle ages, okay? I was like, can I just be a young and good adult for the rest of my life? Okay, we're aging. We're on YouTube. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Doug. So, Doug helped me start a journal when I always say Dear Diary because, like, I feel like that's like if you're a boy, you're like, it's a journal. And then if you're a girl, you're like, it's a diary. My diary, it's their diary. And all my little sisters were trying to read my fucking diary, okay? You know, sisters. I only have sisters. Just letting you guys know. But yeah, so I kept a diary since 2nd grade. Up until college, okay? I graduated from college in 2010, okay? So, do the math, motherfuckers. So, yeah. I was like, do I keep a diary now? Not really. I have a diary. It's just like drawings mostly. I drew. So yeah. So I've been reading mine from 20 years ago. It was like, I was 16, 20 years ago. Like, fuck, you're so old. But yeah, as I mentioned this also, this shirt that has affected me dearly is the shirt that says, I can't act my age because I've never been this age before, okay? I'll be honest with you. I'm not those people. I'm not like, don't ask a lady their age. Okay, that's so 20th century. We're in the 21st century. Feminists, girls, ladies, people. I'm 36, okay? I'm motherfucking 36. Let me tell you that. I don't know. See, you can hear the shame in my voice. So those people who are younger than me or older than me, okay, feel your feelings. But those 36-year-olds who are out there, yes, you know what it's like to be 36 right now. Born in the 80s. That's why you call them crack babies, as Kendrick says. Okay, let me get into this love reading before I rant about how old I am again. So we're going to do a love reading tonight for sure. And then, so that's why we always start out with our law of attraction cards, obviously. And so we're going to get into the vortex, a deck of 60 relationship cards for my peeps, because we're doing a love reading. We know we're going to manifest our millions. We know that. So let's just, maybe you saw your crush today, and maybe I'm not going to divulge any more secrets. I was like, I really want to, but I don't. Do I? I talked to my crush a little bit tonight. A little bit. Sorry. I want to say so much more, but I feel like I should say it later, or I really feel that's why. So I was telling you how I'm reading my diaries from when I was 16, 20 years ago, and it's about boys. And like, I was like, 20 years from being 16, and the way I think about boys is kind of still the same. Okay, from your 36, mid-30s ladies, peoples, like, I still have this, like, even for guy dudes out there, man dudes, could it be possible that 20 years ago you still feel the same about girls? It's still high school. That's what they always say. They're like, high school's forever. So maybe that's it. But let's get into the vortex, get into our relationship stance, and let's do this. Okay, here we go. Relationship. Okay. Others' opinions are less important than my personal guidance system. You did not intend to use the opinions of others to measure against your beliefs, desires, or actions in order to determine the appropriateness of them. Instead, you knew and still remembered, long after you were born, that it was the relationship between the opinion or knowledge of the source within you and your current thoughts in any moment that would offer you perfect guidance in the form of your emotional guidance system. That's that scale. Okay, my law of attraction students, that is the emotional scale. I'll produce that scale. I have a screenshot of the emotional scale that Esther has to move up and down on. And that is what we use to get a better feeling. Okay? That's how we move up and down the emotional scale. We can either get pulled down. It's kind of like a little tornado. You can get pulled up. You can get pulled down. You can pull yourself into the middle. Oh, shoot. You guys hear that? Did that pick that up? I'm going to have to see you after I look at this video. But there was thunder. It's been storming out here in Denver, Colorado, home of the Nuggets and the Rockies and the Broncos. Gave away my location. Oh, no. I can look for things I appreciate in relationships. You cannot get the relationship of your dreams when your chronic thoughts about relationships feel lonely or angry or worried or disappointment. Ooh, that's the lower part of the emotion scale. 11 on the timer. But as you look for things you appreciate in yourself and others, as you make lists of positive aspects of past and present relationships, you train your vibrational offering to match the vibration of your desires, and your perfect mate must then come. It is law. Yes, for my Thelemites out there, I'm a baptized Thelemite. I don't know. I'm a Thelemite. Okay, I got ordained. So yeah, we can talk about Thelema if you want to. Comment down below if you want to talk about Thelema. Okay. Let's start with there, okay? One of my personal guides is Aleister Crowley, okay? Crows. Oh my God, I just want to tell you guys about crows. That's my secret thing about crows. The crow. Bruce Lee's son, the crow. Okay, it had something to do with something, but don't talk about it, okay? We're just well, whenever I see a crow, now there's no birds. So there's only the squirrels right now. I don't know if so I used to have a murder of crows come to me and my neighbor. We feed the birds and the squirrels and it's basically birds and squirrels, but there's a lot of different kinds of birds and there's different seasons for each birds. But usually it was like this big murder of crows that would come to my house. I haven't seen them in a while. And so when I see a crow, I always go like, hey, what's up, murd? They're a murd. They're a murder. They're a murd. But now I've been seeing a lot of magpies, but the magpies are gone now. So now we just got the squirrels. So, I don't know what I was talking about, but birds, crows, magpies, I think they're in the same family. Whatever that is, where it's like ravens, crows, magpies. Are blue jays in there? Because I've seen blue jays too. They're kind of like, I don't know, I always think of them as just like sneaky birds. Sneaky ass birds. Okay, did I read this one? No, I don't think so. My relationships will change when my vibration changes. Yes, because we are living in a vibrational world, and I am a vibrational girl, boy, whatever you want. You are living in the time when fewer people will attempt the impossible task of pushing the unwanted far enough away that they will be left with only that which is wanted. It is a time when more people will come to the realization that what they have been seeking is not a change in the behavior of others or in the world outside of them over which they have no control, but instead an understanding of their own vibrational relationship with Source over which they have complete control. Our vibration, people, I know you're watching those law of attraction videos. That's how we work on our vibration. It's a lot. I can just say vibration, and you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Or if you're not, if you don't do the prerequisites for the class, and we're on the millionth video right now, and it's like, hey, We need to know about vibration. It's vibration, vibration, vibration. Like if you're a real estate agent, you know, it's location, location, location. But for us energy real estate agents, we're not selling. You don't have to sell the vibrational real estate, okay, people? You can just get it. But you can't get it unless you're in the right vibration. Ooh, 1515 on the timer. A belief is only a thought. I keep thinking. I've said this before. Finally, the card that affirms what I've been saying. A belief. Okay, screenshot this. A belief is only a thought I keep thinking. Okay? Understand. We always got thrown that word belief. We believe in this. Believe. What the fuck does that mean? It's like faith. It's like my middle name, Faith. What the fuck? Like, how do I believe? How do I have faith? Well, it's just a thought you keep thinking. Just keep thinking that thought, baby. And that belief will happen. That's all it is. That's why there's serial killers out in there. They got a belief and they going. They going for that serial killer thought. Okay? My true crime junkies out there, because we into law and crime TV, court TV. Everything. Fucking eat. Okay, for my fucking true crime buffs, like, we shouts out to Iwu Crew, Just for Thought Lounge, Coffee and Crime, Stranger Things, Stranger Stories. Oh, damn. Comment down below, my true crime buffs. List your favorite true crime fucking channel, okay? And if I missed out, and then if you put it down there in the comments, like, fuck, I'll tell you if I watch that channel. I was like, I feel like I watch a lot of that channel of like villains. We got, what's it called? Lemonade, that Lemonade one. Dude, where's True Crime Channel? For sure. Okay. I was like, I got into true crime before I started into belief. A belief is only a thought you keep thinking. A belief is only a thought you continue to think. A belief is only your habit of thought. It's only a practice thought. A belief is only a thought you think a lot. Okay? So if a belief is only a thought that you keep thinking a thought that is in opposition to what you want, then the reason you don't get what you want is because you keep thinking a thought that's opposite to what you want. Dude. I was like, we're trying to keep quiet, but there was that rumble of thunder. And I was thinking, I was like, wait, this is a love reading. And I was just like, so if you really believe that your crush likes you, like, that's a thought. I'm like getting out of breath. I'm like, wait, if I just keep thinking my thought, if I keep thinking my crush likes me, like, would that mean, like, prove it. Like, prove it, bitch. Prove it, law of attraction. Bros, law of attraction, bros and brosophinas. Like, what? Like, if I really keep thinking that my crush likes me, that's a belief. I mean, that's limerence. I've been looking up limerence a lot recently about, like, so yeah, you'll believe that. You'll believe that there's a chance and like, well, I mean, the only difference between limerence and requited love is that the person is like, hell yeah, I love you back, bro. Okay, that's the only, like, because I was seriously, like, with my crush, I was just like, okay, this is limerence. This is obvious, because I've been reading my 16-year-old diaries, and I did have a crush on a boy who was 1 grade older than me, and he started with a J. I was like, oh my god, those high school people that know me. But see, that's what I was like, stop. No, don't. I'm one of those people who spill the beans so easily. Like, I just word vomit. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I was just thinking about how, like, when I've been reading my diaries from high school, and just being like, I talk a lot about unrequited love. I guess I learned that in high school about, like, oh, this is what unrequited love is. And I did. Like, I had this crush on this guy in high school for 4 years straight. He was a year older than me, but I still had a crush on him even after he left high school. And I just, that was limerence. That was for real. Like, now looking back 20 years later, that was definitely limerence, where it was just, I don't think I'm a double fire sign. I'm not gonna hide. I'm not good at hiding things as a double fire sign. I just let it all out, and I just want to know so I can just, but in high school, this guy, like, I've had crushes on people since I was in first grade. And in high school, it was just like, it's like, I just want to know if you like me, just tell me. Like, but it was just like, I was so open with how much I liked this person in high school. And people, like, I never asked him out or anything, but it just came to a point where, I was trying to figure it out. And he obviously rejected me. And then I still cared for him. I still loved him. I still was attracted to him for the rest of my whole high school. Even though I was rejected. But I think it was also because it was a soft rejection. It was just like, his friend told. That was how I knew how to. That's how, in elementary school, you learn how to ask if someone likes you back by asking someone else to ask someone. It's like telephone. So yeah, I knew he wasn't into me, but I still liked him. I still wanted there to be a chance. And so that's what limerence is you're rejected and you're still thinking about them. But then requited love is, hey, I like you back, whatever. And then, there's further complications after that. But yeah, I can focus on what I do want in a relationship. By focusing upon the wanted characteristics of those around you, you train your vibrational offering to match only the best in them. And then the law of attraction can no longer match you up with the worst in them. When you focus upon the worst of them and train your vibrational offering to match only the worst in them, the law of attraction can no longer match you up with the best of them. Yeah, it's the same with the belief that you keep believing. But luckily, I was a year younger than the person I had a limerence crush with. And he graduated, and then I could get free. But that's how I got my first ex. And then I realized when I watched that video where I was talking about it was like it was the birthday of my first ex. And I mean, ex is the first guy. I had always broken up with a guy. I'd never broken up with no guy, no man. They're guys. Okay, before you're 18, you're a guy. You're not a man. So the guys that I dated, so I started dating when I was in 8th grade. And then I always broke up with them. I had a couple boyfriends, and then I had a boyfriend in sophomore year who I broke up with, and then got reunited with senior year of high school. And then he broke up with me before I went to college, and he went off to the military. And yeah. So that was my first, oh, girl, you are broken up. You're not I never had felt that before. I never, and I had broken up with him first, my first ex. So when I say ex, I mean the first person who ever broke up with me, basically. So, yeah. Inspired action is always pleasurable action. The dominance of your thoughts is what brings everything to you, and is what is behind the action that you offer. By seeking good feeling thoughts that align with your source, your action will then always feel good. You cannot muster enough action to compensate for misaligned thought, but action that is inspired from aligned thought is always pleasurable action. That's how we make the next move. Because I was in the last video, I was like, yeah, we're done with vibrational flirting. Let's just flirt the fuck out. And so I hadn't seen my crush in a while, and I was just like, yes, I can't, my whole pickup line is just I had a dream about you, but now it's been 2 months of having this dream, so now it's not a thing, but I talked to him. So, It was inspired action, not forced action. So, yeah, learn about inspired action through law of attraction videos. You'll figure it out. Okay. My true success is measured by my alignment. Alignment with Source, being inside your vortex of creation, becoming one with the true expanding version of you, is the ultimate selfishness. And yes, in that state of alignment, all good things must come to you. Every rocket of desire that you have launched will be fulfilled. And that's also a thing when you're learning about law of attraction, to be selfish. I know. We are givers, people. We are in the divine feminine energy, and divine feminine energy gives the fuck out of everything. And selfishness is like this, like, oh, what? No, a Disney princess would never be selfish. That's what a evil queen mother would be like. But you cannot give your love if you're not truly selfish first. If you don't, and you can't find who is deserving of your love unless you're selfish. Because if you're not selfish, you're just gonna give the love fucking everywhere until you're depleted, and then you fucking don't want to love anyone again. So we're learning how to be selfish on this channel, that's for sure. True success is not the attainment of things, the achievement of tasks, or the achievement of financial abundance. True success is the coming into alignment with you. Yes, selfishly aligning with your desires, your clarity, your confidence, your knowledge, your love with yourself. We're selfish people. Sorry about it. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, I posted that. Sorry, not sorry. By who is it? I was like, why? Demi Lovato, obviously. I can always enter my vibrational vortex of creation. Number 51. I don't know what that's. 51, 5 plus 1 is 6. The Lover's card. The key to getting inside your vibrational vortex of creation, of experiencing... Ooh, I heard the thunder again. Of experiencing the absolute absence of resistance, of achieving complete alignment with all that you have become and all that you desire, and of bringing to your physical experience everything that you desire, is being in the state of appreciation. And there is no more important object of attention to which you must flow your appreciation than that of self. Yes, that's selfishness. Okay, we're selfish. Sorry about it, but that's the only way we can give more. So I wanted to bring out the fairy tale oracle because I'm like in such a Disney princess mode since I'm thinking of relationships and seeing my crush and stuff. But damn it, I was like, don't see. But that's the thing. Like in law of attraction, Esther talks about like being in that mode where you're like, hey, I'm not going to think about the thing that I'm thinking about. I'm totally not going to think about that thing that I'm not thinking about. Okay, I'm not thinking about that thing. But it totally is a thing. So when you say that the more you say no to something, the more you're still focusing on attention. It doesn't matter if saying yes or no. It's vibrational, bitches. Okay, so what's our fairy tale stories for tonight? The Wooden Maiden. Trust. Okay, I'll be right back. Hello. Okay. The Wooden Maiden. This is a story that always comes up with me. So I guess I'm the part of the Wooden Maiden. 39. The Wooden Maiden. Trust. Yes, we need to trust to move forward in our relationships. The maiden smiled at her and said in a sweet voice, Batushka, do you like to dance? Her manner was so gracious that Batushka no longer felt afraid and answered, oh, I could dance all day long. A tale of a little girl living alone with her mother in a tumble-down cottage and 2 little goats. The little girl, despite their circumstances, is always cheerful and in good spirits. Her energy is a delight to be around. She loves the birch wood near the cottage where the goats are pastured in the warm times. Her job is to care for the goats and spin their fleece throughout the day. Be sure to bring home a full spindle, Batushka, for that is her name, is told each day. And she does. She would go to the birch wood with the trees, and within their embrace, she would dance and invent wondrous games and sing to the goats, to the trees, and to the birds. She would wind the goat's fleece about her head and dance. And after a time of this, she would go beneath a tree and begin to spin the wool, humming as she went about her work. Each day, her mother gave her a piece of bread, so she was not too hungry and happy. Batushka had no distaff, so she wound the flask around her head. Then she took the little basket and went romping and singing behind the goats in the birch wood. When they got there, she sat down under a tree and pulled the fibers of the flask from her head with her left hand, and with her right hand let down the spindle so that it went humming along the ground. All the while she sang until the woods echoed and the little goats nibbled away at the leaves and grass. When the sun showed midday, she put the spindle aside, called the goats, and gave them a mouthful of bread so that they wouldn't stray, and ran off into the woods to hunt berries or any other wild fruit that was in season. Then, when she had finished her bread and fruit, she jumped up, folded her arms, and danced and sang. While in the birch wood, she would find wild strawberries and raspberries to eat and bring sweetness to her life. And never a frown nor a moment's discontent came to the little girl. She was sweet and merry, little shepherdess. Yet she worked hard and always filled the basket with her spinning, so she was a great help to her mother, and the goats loved her dearly. One day, right as the sun had reached its highest, Batushka spread her arms, ready to whirl in her own invented dance of love to the wood, to life. But she was no longer alone. Before her stood a most beautiful maiden, dressed in clothes spun from cobwebs, flowers of the forest in her hair, and long golden hair which fell to her waist. Batushka's mouth fell open in a perfect O of surprise. X's and O's, they want you. Ellie King, that's what I was listening to when I drove home from Muay Thai today. Batushka, said the maiden, without moving her lips, do you love to dance? She was so kind, her voice so gentling, that Batushka suddenly felt her heart fill with sunshine. Yes, she answered with a bright and sweet smile. I could dance all day long. So she and the maiden danced. As they danced, tall, slender beings with hair of gold and skin of white came forward, playing instruments made of wood and stone, delicate as flowers, and the music was the sweetest ever heard. Birds joined them, and a song of the wild things, enchanting, unlike any other sound heard by human ears before. Batushka forgot everything about the dance. So complete, alive she felt. They danced till the sun fell from the sky in a sudden dip, and when the last ray of gold penetrated the forest, the maiden vanished, along with the orchestra, and finally, only the birds remained, singing the song to call their young to the nest. Batushka was unhappy. For the first time, she fretted. She had not done her work, and her mother needed her help. She fell to silence, and even the goats felt her sadness and wondered at what was wrong. In this tale, as you see, there is a balance between working and the life of dance. Batushka is both responsible and joyous, and has the balance worked out until she is asked to dance with a fairy, and from this forth she forgets her work. Although the fairy sees to it that her basket is full of spun fleece, Batushka knows for the first time guilt and longing and discontent. And I think that does go with that unrequited love. We're feeling unrequited love. That's what it feels like. At the same time, she discovers ecstasy and the abandonment of herself, right? You still feel that. You still feel that love, even if someone rejects you. And that's what I'm also afraid of. being rejected. And so that limerence helps, where you don't say your feelings and you just have small interactions, but one day you're going to want to know. The fairies came to her aid and gave her a magical chant. Reel and grumble, not reel and grumble not. And her basket is full each night, spun as if, and indeed, is by magic. But her mother knows something is amiss. Her daughter is not the same, and she asks what is wrong. When Badushka finally tells her mother of the dancing and the fae, she breaks the spell, and she no longer has his magical help. Her mother grumbles, for she knows her daughter had met a wood maiden, one who often dances little boys to death, but who can be kind to little girls and offer them their help and great riches. What are we to make of this tale? To never accept magical help? That parents should allow children time to simply be children? But before the spell is broken, little Batushka is gifted birch leaves, which the wood maiden turns to gold. And although there are only a few, they suddenly have enough. Enough to buy a farm with good rich land, strong fine cattle, and their own well and trees. Batushka could have dancing shoes and lessons and pretty clothes to wear, but she never attains the same levels of content as she had before meeting the wood maiden, nor does she ever reach the ecstatic heights the fairy dance gave her. And she never meets the wood maiden, never again, even though she longed to dance with her every day. This is a card that encourages you to trust at this moment that although what is taking place seems unreal and you will doubt your own experience, you would do best to trust that it has taken place for a reason. The gifts you have been offered need not be questioned. It's time to arrest cynicism and be careful of who you share the gift with. Some will disbelieve you, and in some ways they will rob you of what is most precious. It is now a time to believe and to share and to know that there is another world, a fairyland, and its denizens are your allies at this time. Hold close this gift and trust that it is as it seems to be. It is good and it is true. Meaning trust in a gift given, be content with simple things. A good nature brings great rewards. Fairies come to the innocent and the sweet of temperament. Even small rewards can yield great changes. Awareness can come at a price. And Capricorn energy might be very important to you. That's go energy. That just came to me. The Princess and the Pea. This is going to be a story time story reading that you can listen to while you fall asleep as I read you these. Oh, we got a couple stories to read through. So maybe this will all be it for tonight, but let's see. The Princess and the Pea, sensitivity. Once there was a prince who wanted to marry a princess. Only a real one would do. There is no hiding when you truly are. Even if you were to forget your own past, your character will display where you're from and who you are. This card is about those who are sensitive and clairsentient, clear feeling. This ability to discern something slightly amiss can be challenging to live with, as is the sensitivity you experience in environments that are strange and new to you. Some people may find you difficult, fussy, and even accuse you of falsifying your own sensitivity, but others will understand that some people are able to feel what cannot be seen by the human eye, and their true value can be recognized by observation of their actions. While the being at the center of the story is a princess, this does not mean there is any entitled attitude taking place. It is simply that there is a kind of rare quality to you. Some will deny this, and others will recognize this and value you for who you are. Your life will not always be easy. Feeling so much, so easily is difficult for you, and often for others around you. But when the trait is worked with well, When you can use this ability to feel and sense what is around, it can be of great value and lead to great strength. So you must learn to work with your own sensitivity and to harness its powers for the good of others, and to deal with the hypersensitivity in ways that are healthful. Is that a word? Healthful for you too. You cannot pretend to be other than what or who you are. Others will always find you out. So no more pretenses. Come out into the open with who you truly are, what you can sense, what you can feel, and how you know what you know, and be authentic. It is already known who you truly are. Your incredible sensitivity will be revealed, even when you are asleep. No matter how much the disturbance is hidden from you, you will feel it out. Such awareness must be learned to live with, else it could haunt you, and you must find others like yourself to be amongst. The layers cannot cover who you are. There is no mask you can wear. No. We're done with the pandemic, people. There's no mask. There is no place you can go where you will feel differently. You are who you are, and beneath the layers, the pea will find its way into your skin and bruise you deeply. Meaning you have empathic qualities. You have sensory talents and skills. You can feel your way through life. Your feelings are trustworthy. See that trust? You need to create a safe and comfortable oasis. Trust your senses, all 6 of them. Others will love your true self. You are highly sensitive at present. You cannot hide who you are. All right. Now we have the Tinderbox Soldier, number 11. The Tinderbox Soldier. The dog brought the princess back to her copper castle. But in the morning, while she was having tea with her father and mother, the king and queen, she told them that she had a very strange dream that night. A large dog with eyes as big as teacups had come and carried her away to a soldier who kissed her. Ooh, those military boys. That's a nice story, said the queen, but she didn't mean it. One dog has eyes as big as teacups, another eyes as big as saucers, and the third eyes as big as towers. They are the guardians of the 3 chests of coins, copper, silver, and gold, and they obey the bidding of the owner of a little tinderbox, which contains a flint, a candle, and a candle stub. Whenever these are lit, the dogs come to do their bidding. A soldier marches along a road. The war is over, and he has nothing except for his uniform and the marching steps he takes. Along the side of the road, he is greeted by a witch, who asks him to perform a task for her, to fetch a tinderbox from deep within the earth through a hollowed-out magical oak tree. In return, he is given a magical piece of cloth to place each guardian on, and he can fill his pockets with as much treasure as he can carry. But when he sees that these creatures guard, and when the witch will not tell him why the tinderbox is so very valuable, he chops off her head and takes the tinderbox and moves into his new life, a rich man. There is much more to the story than that, of course. He has yet to meet the princess and ask the dogs to do his bidding to find her, but this tale is about the choices this soldier makes. In order to make his fortune, he kills. He is a soldier. Perhaps he has done worse, and he is without work, without pay, and quite penniless. He sees a way out, and he takes it. He does good deeds and bad along the way, and at the end, he has all a young man could wish for. He has made his fortune, married a princess, and he has control over a magical fortune via 3 magical dogs. The last image is of the creatures, staring at the table at the wedding feast. This story is not over, for the dogs are watching, and there is more to this tale. This is a tale, like Aladdin, of having control over a magical fortune, and what will and can be done to take back the power one has lost in one's life. He cuts off the head of a magic herself, the witch, and takes what may have been hers. The tinderbox represents control and rulership and the desire to have all that you want. I thought so much about this tale when I was a child. Why did he not simply take the money and create a life for himself? Or would the witch have sent the dogs after him to kill him and keep her secret safe? What are people prepared to do? To get what they want and to keep their secrets? In this tale, we see that at times asking for help can be dangerous. It certainly is for the witch and for the soldier. Killing comes easy, as youth threats throughout the story. When one has power and infinite wealth, you can force those about you to do your bidding. And you can even have the most sought-after treasure in the land, a princess, and royal status. As at the end, the soldier becomes the king. The story is also about the impossibility of avoiding fate, for there is a prophecy that the princess will marry a soldier, and no matter how her parents try to thwart this fate, it comes true in any case. So if you have this card, what are you to make of this? That you must choose what you will and will not do to have power and money? That you may be given an offer that can lead to danger and rewards? That at times you must cut people out of your life in order to keep secrets safe? And that getting what you ultimately want does not mean that you're unwatched, for the dogs watch. As the wedding feasts, there are always witnesses to all the things that we do. So this is your choice. You may choose to be ruthless, and yet you may seem unpunished, but you will be observed, and you will never rest easy. Or you can choose to live with different values and live a different life. But if you become like the soldier, you must be prepared to do harsh things for a seemingly great reward. This story is morally ambiguous. Perhaps you'll never have consequences, but the eyes of the dogs will be watching you, and your soul will know what you have chosen to do. But then, what life did this soldier have before him? He was poor, cast out by the war, and had done terrible things. In life, there are always harsh choices. You cannot avoid them. And at times, not everyone can benefit from a choice. There will, at times, be those who are hurt by the choices you make. You must decide whether these choices are worth it, whether they're worth the unending gaze of the dogs of the magical tinderbox. Will your ambition grow? And when, dear friend, will enough be enough? Meaning, a ruthless quest. Choose wisely. How will you repay a good turn? How will you use the gifts you have been given? Which harsh choice will benefit you most? What choice can you live with? Can your choices stand up to scrutiny? Have you sacrificed your ethics? Desensitization. I can't. I'm in the shadow of Mercury. Okay. Reconnect with your empathy. I get this too. Little Red Riding Hood. Rites of Passage. Number 14. Here we go. We're doing a long reading tonight. This is a bedtime story reading, people. 14. Red Riding Hood. Rites of Passage. Do not leave the path. This is one of the most evocative and psychological of all fairy tales. The red cloak, the walk through the woods, the foods and fruits taken to grandma, the wolf, and the attempt at deceit. Red Riding Hood is a story of initiation into adulthood, mature womanhood, a coming-of-age story that is violent, dark, and bloody, for within it the red cloak represents the maturity of the young woman. It is the blood that now flows from her womb, meaning she has left childhood behind. Ooh, Aunt Flo. At least on a physical level, but she is attached to her family. Her love and care for her grandmother is foremost, and she undertakes a journey through the wild, dark forest, clothed only in her red cloak, her matador's cloak, her shield, and once an invitation and a protection. The wolf is every creature that ever hoped to prey upon innocence. He solicits her friendship and grooms her for victimhood. Ooh. and does all he can to overwhelm her suspicion with charm and false reassurances. The road to Grandma's house symbolizes the road of her life, the journey to her eventual and possible old age. This is a tale of the dangers of being female, of the unpredictable natural world of the predatory nature of some men, and the way in which so many will stalk and groom their potential victims. This is powerful tale. The wild nature of Red Riding Hood is within her, as she too is a being of passion, desire, and is coming into a time to express that. Innocence is something that the world can sense, an attempt to exploit. The predatory nature of so many humans is here for all to see. The instinct of both men and women that makes them wish to devour another. Ultimately, this tale is about the truth, that other people, not wolves, are not who they seem to be, not who they say they are, and even their actions can be highly manipulative and deceptive. Those in whom we trust may be grooming us to harm us. And it is that easy, innocent giving of trust which can make us most vulnerable on our journey through life, to deliver the sweet rewards to our older self. If we are to become an elder, we must learn to discern between those who we can trust and those who we cannot. In one of the earliest versions of the tale by Charles Perrault, we know that the walk through the woods is our whole life. We are often urged to stay on the path, to give in to our own ability to become wild, to even do harm. In this way, we know the tale is not just about avoiding the predators, but about avoiding our own predatory nature. So when this card comes to you, not only are you being asked to be very, very wary of who you give your trust to, you're being asked to focus on the task, to live long, to grow old, to be rewarded. You are also being asked to be aware of your own ability to become distracted, diverted, to lose focus, and to even take advantage of others yourself. This is no insult. It is the truth that all our natures have this potential. So, for now, be careful of trusting. Do not give in to your own temptations to become like the wolf. And for now, stay on the path of what will bring out the very best within your own nature. For the path of life is long. If we are fortunate, and the road to becoming old is always full of dangers, stay safe and know that words and deeds do not tell us all about those we meet along life's journey. Your instinct will advise you. Do not be delayed or diverted. Remember who you are and where you're going. Meaning the mating of age, sexual maturity, stay focused and aware. Do not be deceived by appearances. Do not let yourself be groomed. Think of the purpose. Have a mature viewpoint within this situation. Sleeping Beauty. When the child is 16, she will prick her finger upon a spindle and die. The king and queen cried out and begged the fairy to forgive them and remove the curse, but the fairy refused to do so. But one fairy stepped forward and said, I cannot undo the curse, but I can alter its course. Beauty shall not die when she touches the spindle, but she will fall into a deep sleep for 100 years. It is right that in this tale, the family of Sleeping Beauty decide that they will fall into the same enchanted sleep along with their daughter, a princess who is cursed by a fairy with a grudge. When the Princess Aurora is born, her parents invite the chief magical beings of the kingdom to offer them all a rare gift. They are genuinely overjoyed at the birth of the child, who had been longed for far before she was born. But there is one fairy they do not invite, and in some versions of the tale, this is deliberate. In others, it is an oversight. In others still, the reason is they have not enough wealth to share with the being now known as Maleficent. While the offended fairy's payback to the family slight is to curse Aurora to die when she pricks her finger upon a needle from a spinning wheel, a late arriving fairy can soften the blow with her blessing, that Aurora will simply fall into a deep sleep, which she can only be awakened from by the kiss of a lover whose heart is true. Instead of raising Aurora with this knowledge, the family endanger her even more by keeping the prophecy from her, and it is this ignorance that most endangers her, and which gives the curse its opportunity to take hold. When this card comes to you, you will learn that someone has tried to protect you from a harsh truth by keeping information that is vital from you. There is no escape from the dilemma you inherited, but you will be able in time to find a way through the challenge, and you will not be alone, and you will never be abandoned. You will be awakened to the truth, and when you wake up, so will all others around you who wish to protect you, but in truth only made you more vulnerable, meaning the curse shall be broken. Time will lead to an awakening. The forest protects you. The sins of the parents, inherited guilt, generational patterns activated. Ignorance of consequences, willfully holding the truth. Ooh, this is turning into deep story time, people. The Wild Swans, dedication. All the people came flocking out at the town gate, for they wanted to see the witch burned. An old horse drew the cart, at which she sat. They had put upon her a garment of coarse sackcloth. Her lovely hair hung loose about her beautiful head. Her cheeks were as pale as death, and her lips moved silently, while her fingers were engaged with the green flax. Even on the way to death, she did not interrupt the work she had begun. The 10 shirtless male lay at her feet, and she wrought at the 11th. The fairy who came out to meet her was fair and shining, yet she closely resembled the old woman who gave her the berries in the forest and told her of the swans who wore golden crowns on their heads. Your brothers can be set free, she said, but you have the courage and tenacity to do it. But have you the courage and tenacity to do it? The sea water that changes the shape of rough stones is indeed softer than your delicate hands, but it cannot feel the pain that your fingers will feel. It has no heart, so it cannot suffer the anguish and heartache that you will have to endure. Do you see the stinging nettle in my hand? Many such nettles grew around the cave where you sleep. Ooh, try nettle tea. That's what I've been drinking. It's good for your joints. Only those and the ones that grow upon graves in the churchyards may be used. Remember that. Those you must gather, although they will burn your hands to blisters, crush the nettles with your feet, and you will have flax, which you must spin and weave into 11 shirts of mail with long sleeves. Once you throw these over the 11 wild swans, the spell over them is broken. But keep this well in mind. From the moment you undertake this task until it is done, even though it lasts for years, you must not speak. The first word you say will strike your brothers' hearts like a deadly knife. Their lives are at the mercy of your tongue. Now remember what I told you. She touched Eliza's hand with nettles that burned like fire and awakened her. This is a tale of suffering. In order to save family or people we care for from a fate that is not their choosing, it is a tale of sacrifice, and the sacrifice must be done without recognition. For a long time, in this tale, a young woman's brothers are enchanted into the form of swans, and she is told there is only one way to free them, and that is through the spinning of magical cloaks made from flasks of stinging nettles. Not a word can be spoken during this task. So, for years, this young woman has hands that are disfigured from the burning and the pain, feet that can barely tread upon earth, and she must do all in silence. Her dedication to the bizarre task and her silence in the face of demands for explanations creates mistrust all around her. Dang, we've been bringing out that trust. But the truth is, she cannot speak. She must keep to her task, for she has dedicated herself to saving her brothers. This is the madness of doctors, scientists, those who discover ways of healing and helping them that seem bizarre and strange, incomprehensible to others. So this is the message of this card, to know that when we see people who are ferociously dedicated to a task or a mission, their single-mindedness may seem madness, and in some ways it is. But if this energy is put to a great purpose, it can bring about great healing and change. The message could be that you must allow this and not judge this. And the message could also be that your own dedication may be perceived as madness and even great hostility within the hearts of others, but it will result in healing, creativity, and great breakthroughs. Just as Eliza's work, painful and bizarre as it seemed, saved her brothers from their enchantment, meaning tenacity and dedication, work magic, working through pain to create results, single-minded passion, misunderstood dedication, silently working without explanation for a time, working without the approval of others. And finally, our last Dawn, the golden-haired dude. Yeah, I was like, the golden-haired duty, poopy? No, 40. Wait, was that? Was that the one before that one? Was that 41? No, that was 42. Dawn. Dawn, the golden-haired duty. She sat free with her own hands. Then she placed a gold crown on his head and a royal cloak on his shoulders. Come, she said, I make you my king. A young princess had hair the color of the sun at first light, and she wore it about her as a cloak, to both hide within and feel safe behind. She was so lovely, she named Dawn, and all who beheld her gave away a piece of their heart to her. A great king who beheld her felt so deeply in love. He went to her father and to her mother to ask for her hand, but they said it was Dawn's decision to make, and she left her home well and wished only to belong to herself. And the king went away and chose a bright and good young man to plead his case, for the king was too busy with the matters of state to conduct a romance. So the young man went away, and although he was fine to gaze upon, and well made and strong, canny and fine, he was humbled at the trust his king had given to him. And as he thought of how he could win the princess for his king, he took to the woods where he always felt most at peace. He passed a small lake and saw a fish out of a water, choking on air, wriggling desperately towards the water. He gently picked it up and gave it back to the waters, and the fish leapt high in the silver waters, thanking him, promising him a good deed when he had need. The young man smiled, for how could a fish help him win the hand of Dawn, the golden-haired? A little later, he saw a crow being hunted by an eagle, and he climbed high and chased off the eagle, feeling that for this day he could be sure the humble did as well as the mighty. And the crow thanked him and promised him a reward. When the time came, and the young man smiled, a crow to come to his aid, then he came upon an owl, caught within a net left by humans, and he delicately freed the owl, not wishing to damage it in any way. And the owl gazed at him, sleepy and weary after a long night's struggle, and promised her favor when the time came. At last he knew what he could do to gain the favor of the princess for his king. He found her 2 playful puppies and headed for the castle. Dawn readied herself again, knowing that she would marry none, for unbeknownst to the young man, a huge ogre who lived nearby had sworn to make Dawn his own. And she knew if she married another, it would bring death upon that man and upon all in her kingdom. But when he came to her with the fine, playful little dogs and the kindness shining from his eyes, she felt herself falling in love and told him of her need. But he said her hand was intended for his king, and he was merely his messenger, and he insisted that he must try to win her hand. So she sighed and gave him her first quest to find a lost ring, which had fallen from her slender fingers as she swam. And to his surprise, the fish he had saved brought him the ring, but she still did not wish to marry this young man's king, for she was falling in love with his messenger, that guy, the crow guy. So a second quest was given, that the giant with a yen for her must be destroyed, so she and her kingdom could be free. The young man left, and as he approached the giant's abode, made of the skeletons of former adversaries, his friend, the crow, dove from the skies and plucked out the eyes of the giant. Yes! The ogre fell to the ground, writhing in pain. Oh, the merds fell to the ground, writhing in pain, and the young man unsheathed his sword and took his head. This was not enough, for Dawn had fallen so deeply in love with the young man before her. She wished only to send him on his way so she would not be reminded of what she could never have. But he succeeded in the third task too, with the help of the wise owl he rescued. And so she married the king, who then threw the loyal young man into prison, as he could see how Dawn adored him. And finally, due to his own jealousy, he passed away. Dawn was finally able to marry the man she adored, set herself free, and keep her kingdom free too. The story is about a love that seems thwarted, but which does eventually come to be. Oh, this is a great love reading. So this is a card of hope. It's a card of duty, reluctantly but honorably done. And it is a card about happily ever after, as Dawn and her true love lived along their 2 little dogs. Oh my gosh. And I keep saying, no, there have been cats who have actually been in front of my house. Like, the cats are coming. Meaning, power brings responsibility, duty as rewards, patience will be well in the end. A time of recognition, success is coming. True love finds its time. Your good turns will now be rewarded. Beauty and goodness are their own riches. Ooh, I love that. I love how that ended with the crows. The merds. Okay, so let's finish with some affirmators. So we didn't get to tarot. This is my first non-tarot reading. So let's get some love affirmators before we go. Oh, look, we're a cute little cupcake. I am complete, whole, and filled with love. I have everything I need. If I ask or look for more, I'm ignoring the love and gifts that are already in my life. Instead, I'll be grateful and acknowledge that anything else would be extra icing on life's cake. FYI to whoever is listening, extra icing is totally welcome, and it's obviously the most delicious part. I do love icing. Icing. I've made homemade icing too. That needs some better butter. Resilience. Sticks and stones may break my bones, and unkind words can somehow drain every bit of joy and color from my once rosy life. But nothing can ever permanently damage the real me. I love myself, I cherish myself, and I vow to remember that I'm always camped out in the depths of myself, even when I don't feel like very much of myself. Acceptance. When I get to know new people, I accept their actual traits rather than the ones I project on them. Same goes for not new people. I already know. Acceptance is the delicate art that reminds us everyone is their own unique self, and we can't expect them to ever be anything but. Man, how do the snowflakes do it? And finally, commitment. I will willingly accept that it's safe to topple my walls and commit completely to a relationship. It might be one that's already here or one that's on the way. Either way, those walls have got to go. Without them, I can go further. Without them, I can go further, feel freer, and love bigger than ever before. Bonus, no walls means I'll save a lot of money on picture frames. All right, that is your intense story time love reading for tonight. Thank you so much for coming by, and I'll see you next time.